Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Fire engulfs a famous Parisian cathedral and social media captured every moment. Working 9 to 9, that's how Jack Ma wants people to make a living. Floods in Iran worsened by economic sanctions. And an animal being saved in today's Animals Doing Stuff. And at the top of our newsfeed, Notre Dame now. A fire there set social media ablaze as people shared video of every moment of the incident. Here's Karen.
6:50 p.m. local time in Paris. This is when firefighters believe a fire breaks out in the roof of the city's iconic Notre Dame Cathedral. The pictures spread rapidly on social media and news channels as people on the banks of the River Seine and around the world watch emergency crews fight to contain the fire in one of France's oldest structures. Notre Dame's first stone was laid in 1160. 850 years later, there is little anyone can do to stop the flames. By 7:40 p.m., the fire has spread to the spire. The French president cancels a planned TV address to go to the scene, tweeting,
Our Lady of Paris in flames. Emotion of a whole nation. Thought for all Catholics and for all French. Like all our countrymen, I'm sad tonight to see this part of us burn.
13 minutes later, the cathedral's spire collapses. By 8:07 p.m., the entire roof is gone. The building has a wooden frame dating back to 1220, and although the structure is clad in stone, it's the wooden core which aids the fire's spread. Officials start warning there's a chance the church can't be saved. Parisians can't look away, even though people report feeling the fire's heat 100 meters away. Some sing hymns through their shock, and church bells ring in solidarity with the Old Lady of Paris. Online, people worry about the cathedral's 3 medieval rose windows. Most of the cathedral's artworks and artifacts have likely been removed days previously due to renovation work. Just after 10 o'clock local time, a Paris fire official says Notre Dame's main structure has been saved and preserved.
Inside I believe we've saved the crown of thorns, St. Louis' tunic. We were able to save some chalices, I think. It didn't reach the treasury, and then inside they tried to save some paintings, but you know, it was impossible to take down the big paintings.
One fireman has been injured. Minutes later, the French president promises to rebuild.
En particulier en cette semaine sainte.
I also want to share a thought for all our compatriots, because the Notre Dame of Paris is our history, our literature, our imagination, the place where we have lived all our great moments, our epidemics, wars, liberation. It is the epicenter of our lives.
C'est leur cathédrale et plus encore.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Well, Donald Trump suggested using flying water tankers to put out the fire. His unhelpful tweet was mocked by most of the people who saw it and then dismissed by the French Civil Security Management Twitter account, who said that using water-bombing aircraft could cause the whole of Notre Dame to collapse. And these screen grabs were taken by some Twitter users of YouTube live streams of the fire. They show one of YouTube's new features. They're fact boxes which aim to counter the threat of fake news. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, these fact boxes were offering information on the 9/11 attacks. YouTube said sorry and blamed an algorithm. And video of a fireman putting out a fire which started at the Al-aqsa mosque in Jerusalem is also being shared. The Palestine news agency said a fire broke out in the guards room outside the roof of the Marwani prayer room, and the fire brigade of the Islamic Waqf successfully contained the matter. Children tampering in the area are being blamed. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has quit Facebook. She says the social network, she still has the social network, sorry, in a professional capacity. She's quit it in her personal capacity. She says that social media is a danger to public health. It's ironic, really, as it was because of social media, namely her Instagram feed, that AOC became so famous, and all those rants that she does as a congresswoman go viral on social media every time she does them. And in much, much, much better news, Aretha Franklin has been awarded a Pulitzer Prize. Miss Franklin died in August of last year, but was given a special citation for her contribution to music. She's the first woman to get such an award. The Pulitzer Award have given special posthumous citations to loads of men, including Duke Ellington, Thelonious Monk, and John Coltrane. Now, one of the world's richest men, Jack Ma, is getting some grief online because he said that working a 12-hour day was a blessing. He wants people to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, and says that will keep the Chinese economy strong. Well, we asked the always hard at work Joel Flynn in Hong Kong to explain.
Well, China, of course, has a very complicated relationship with working culture. Certainly over the last 50 years or so, that's been the case. But it does, in this particular instance, seem to be about the culture, not the laws. The laws in the People's Republic are very clear. You are only supposed to be able to demand up to 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week from your employees. And there are special circumstances around that, but those typically involve local authorities, trade unions as well. Jack Ma's comments really seem to have struck a nerve for a couple of reasons. One of those is that people point out it was only 2 years ago Jack Ma himself was suggesting that Chinese workers could be headed for a 4-hour day, 4-day week. The fact that 2 years down the line he's now suggesting 996 might be a more appropriate attitude to have could, as far as these people are concerned, be a reflection of the fact that Alibaba aren't doing so well, nor indeed, of course, is the Chinese economy as well. Jack Ma's defenders, Jack Ma himself, suggests that this 996 attitude really is about committing to a company's success and trying to drive it forward. He, of course, said that a lot of these companies wouldn't be as successful as they are, like Alibaba, were it not for the fact that they were putting in 12-hour shifts 6 days a week. But the developers that are criticizing this on places like GitHub, that are name-checking some of these large companies like Huawei, like Alibaba, of course, like Pinduoduo as well, say that it is an employer-employee relationship, and they don't have as vested an interest as in their success as Jack Ma obviously did in Alibaba. State media, interestingly, are taking the developers' side on this. They are saying that the pushback against this is the embodiment of a new attitude by Chinese workers about what they want to get from life. And analysts reckon that is one of the really interesting aspects of this, that this attitude has really changed, and now people are more interested in defending the workers rather than the work.
Now, floods in Iran have led to a humanitarian emergency there, and the sanctions that are imposed by Donald Trump have made the rescue and recovery effort more challenging than it needed to be. Let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Tuesday. Now, TikTok has been banned in India. The Supreme Court there have asked for Apple and Google to remove the app from their stores. TikTok is the third most popular app in the world and has millions of users in India. Lawmakers there brought in the ban because they say the app is too addictive. This video of a student being confronted by security officers is being used as an example of racial profiling. The student that was confronted is called Alexander McNabb, and he goes to Columbia in New York. He'd gone into a library at Barnard University, that's across the road, to get some free food, then got into an argument which ended with him being pinned to the countertop. He says this is the third time he has been harassed by the security of Barnard University. The officers involved have been suspended. The World Health Organization say that the number of reported measles cases around the world are up 300% in just the first 3 months of 2019. The WHO listed vaccine hesitancy as one of their top 10 health concerns. There's been a huge spike in anti-vaccination content on social media in the past few years, and this has played a part in raising fear and distrust of vaccinations. The president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, has been called a very dangerous human being, and a gala for him in New York has been cancelled. It was due to be held at the American Museum of Natural History, but people spoke out against it, including the mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, who believes that Bolsonaro shouldn't be guest of honor because he said he wants to increase mining in tribal land in Brazil. And this is the world-famous cellist Yo-Yo Ma playing at the US-Mexico border in Texas as part of his Bach project, where he aims to go around the world playing pieces by the composer. Yo-Yo says that during times of stress and confusion and insecurity, we should share sources that offer comfort, purpose, and meaning. The HelloBrother was the greeting used by Daud Nabi moments before he was killed by a white supremacist in New Zealand during Friday prayer on March the 15th. Now that greeting is being used to bring communities together. Case in point, the Turkish and New Zealand under-18s ice hockey teams. Here's Errol.
We are currently in Sofia, Bulgaria, where the U18 Ice Hockey World Championships are taking place. The Turkish national team is about to face off the New Zealand national team, but before the match begins, both teams have a message for you.
Hello, brother.
Hello, brother.
Hello, brother.
Hello, brother.
Hello, brother.
Hello, brother. Hello, brother.
I'm Jake Swift. And I'm Hayden Bull. We're from Christchurch, and a student at my school had lost his life in the tragic event. We're grateful for the HelloBrother movement because it shows that everyone can get along. We don't judge people by the colour of their skin or whatever you believe in.
To me, it just means a movement we can really just get behind. Yeah, it really represents the unity between our two cultures.
HelloBrother means unity and peace and love.
Sadly, I just found out that one of the Turkish team's biggest fans, Mustafa Boztaş, a Turk who lives in Christchurch and makes it to nearly every game, couldn't make it today because he was shot and injured during the attack and is back home recovering.
We should stand together against hate and racism. We are all brothers and we don't accept the terrorists.
There's a hadith says Muslim community is one body. If one part gets hurt, we feel all the pain. So we need to react.
The HelloBrother hashtag was born out of the tragedy known as the Christchurch massacre. They were the last words spoken by Daud Nabi, a man who greeted terror with compassion before being gunned down by his killer. And now it's being used to spread messages of love, hope, unity, and togetherness, both on and off social media.
Hello, brother.
And now for something completely different. In Animals Doing Stuff, we take you to Rize in Turkey, where footage has emerged of a man giving a puppy mouth to mouth. Now, the internet tells me that this man is called Ömer Yilmaz, and he was feeding some stray dogs, and one of the pups had eyes bigger than its belly, or in this case, bigger than its throat. Now, some food managed to get lodged in there. They managed to press record on the camera and then gave the little guy CPR. And now, look at him, happy and breathing normally. A happy ending. And that'll be your lot from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.